Hello there! Silhouettes are one of the most interesting topics in art because they are something so important but almost never actually talked about. Recently I had a builder friend talk to me about silhouettes in builds and how useful they are. Honestly, I never realised I had never paid too much attention to mine. Looking back, all my best builds had cool silhouettes, and today I'm building a base from the silhouette up. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to do was get a basic blockout shape, how this silhouette is going to turn out. I've got an L shape here, which is very reminiscent of Tetris, but one other thing that you'll find that you might find reminiscent of Tetris is all the blocks. And I know that I said I'm blocking it out, but this won't actually be the final shape. What I want to do next is fill in all these blocks with solid black concrete, that little block that I've been using for it, the whole thing. And then I want to chisel in and create indents and spheres and all types of lovely jubblies that I can put inside this thing. And by the way, I know what the style that I'm doing for this is. This isn't a thing where I'm just going to wonder how it's going to turn out. I'm going to be building out of this style. And I thought recently, how could I fix one of my problems, which is I've got a lot on my plate, especially with Minecraft stuff. And I thought, okay, why don't I start mixing tasks together? So I've got a idea for a solar punk thing in the background. I'm going to keep most of this silent because it's most in my head. A lot of ideas that I'm still laying out. I don't want to spoil anything yet. But the solar punk idea, okay, why don't I make some of the builds for the solar punk idea during videos? So you might see more videos where solar punk builds show up a little bit more often, but don't worry, they won't be the main topic of any builds for like really like a long time. But so yeah, this looks really cool. So what I want to do is I want to just shape this out, make it look solar punk-esque, and then we've got a really cool design. Maybe I could use a little lump there, fill in that space, but you know, we can always see. I can try things out, I can test things. I have free will. Oh no, I can't fight it. The void is calling me. Like Michelangelo, I have chiseled my masterpiece. Yeah, this is what it looks like now. I love this. I am such a big fan, and I think I have just found one of the coolest ways of building. Now, as I was designing this, I had a thought, and I realized that, you know, I don't know if I mentioned this already. Thing is, I probably have, and it's a really silly thing that I'm probably just bringing up again, and I'm going to have to cut this out later. But when I draw, I'm doing basically the same thing as this. I'm creating a 2D outline for the build, which I then 3Dify in the game. The only difference between this and that is when I'm doing this, I get a better idea of all the shapes. And I love the shape of this build. I wasn't certain that this would work out, but I was looking at tons of concept art, tons of ideas, stealing lots of stuff. I mean, taking inspiration. And I created this, and I love every single design. I love the way that little thing there droops, and it took a while to get all the shapes perfectly right, but I really like the shape of that. It looks really lovely. I like little details like that. It look really sweet and just like kind of Japanese from afar. I was looking into solar punk designs more of what they kind of look like, and they are very Japanese. And like, they're like Japanese, but also very eco-friendly, environmental. And I guess that does kind of fit with the Japanese theme. I don't know too much about the country, but in general, the art styles and just everything they use looks very eco-friendly. Just looks very beautiful, very environmental. And I guess that fits with that whole theme that they have going there. I won't try and put my mind into what Japanese culture is actually like because I have zero clue. Anyways, this is what I've got down here. I took some inspiration from Japanese imagery, from solar punk imagery, and that's a little bit from Blade Runner. I haven't actually watched that movie, but I know what some of the cars look like, and I was like, oh, what if I do something similar like that? And while I've been talking, I just had an idea which would probably look absolutely horrible, but I have to try it because my brain it works that way, right? When I have an idea, I think, oh yeah, I can do this. Let me see what this looks like. Yeah, let me just spike this up a bit. See what it would look like with a bit of a spike on the end. Yeah, it's not terrible. There's probably a better way I can do that, but yeah, for now I don't mind that actually. That's not so bad. Yeah, I just need to finish it now. I just need to do the other side because this is a silhouette, but it needs to be a 3-dimensional silhouette, so I need to make this side too. That's going to be a little more unique. Ghost Bradley. Did Ghost Bradley scare you? I hope he did. Well, it took a while, but I have finished the design of it. Not the actual like coloring or the details. I've done some of the details, but they're all in red and black right now. I guess I'm very dark red. You know, I'm very into red, as you can see. Look at my skin. All orange, browns, and reds over here because I love that color. That color's my favorite. This build looks really sick. I was hoping this design, because I kept it over there because I really like the way it looks, that I was hoping that I'd be able to flesh out a 2D design design into a 3D one, and apparently so, it works. So the back is slightly less detailed, but it's still got a couple things on it, and I think when I add some just minor like texturing and things, it won't matter too much. The backs of builds don't really matter too much. Nobody's going to see them. It's the parts that people will see that matters the most, like the top and the front of the base. So I'm glad this looks as lovely as it does. If you look over there again at the original silhouette, it had a bit of a rounded design, but I ended up going for this more Japanese, like, I forgot what they're called, those like tall buildings where everything's, you know, bouncing on top of each other. I can't remember. I'm going to put the name on screen, but I can't remember right now. So good for me. This has taken me all day. I'm not even kidding. It's been more difficult than that time I tried to get Evil Bradley to do my like and subscribe segment.
Yo, guys, you should all unlike and what? I shouldn't say unlike and unsubscribe because people will actually do it, which will actually hurt the channel statistics when I should actually ask them to, you know, like and subscribe and do all the normal stuff and also write comments related to how the video, what happened in the video and things that I should do like that. Oh, sorry. You should like and subscribe. Did I do it good?
Anyways, that's all I've got for you now. I think it's about time I start to detail and color this thing in. After a slightly mild headache and plenty of stress, I have finished design of the build, and I know I have done a lot and there's a lot to go over now, but I'll try and run through it as quickly as possible with you guys because I have got a lot I want to talk about. The designs I've used here are basically based off Japanese, a lot of Japanese architecture, and I think I might have mentioned that, but I tried to do a very colourful theme, because a lot of solar punk I saw online, you either have this very stale white color or you have this really colorful bright, and it's all mixed together and it looks a little run down but also like it's being built up at the same time, and I don't really know how to explain that as well as I want to, but I tried to give off that feel with this build and I think it looks beautiful. As far as a silhouette goes, or silhouetting as I'm taking to calling it, I think that's an awesome technique. There are a couple pros and cons. The pros obviously being it makes the build look really nice. It gives a lot of shape, it gives a lot of detail, it gives you ideas on where to put things. The cons, I have been working on this for like 7 or 8 hours today, and I can barely keep my eyes open anymore because it is 1 in the morning. So, you know, pros and cons, there are differences. This space has taken me a really long time, and when I say today, I mean just the detailing. The other days I spent 3 or 4. I spent a lot of time this week on this build, and it's a very long process. It might just be because of the size of the build and the amount of details, but I think I will be using this more in the future. But there's probably another way I can do it where I'm not just using black blocks. Another thing is, if you're going to use black blocks, it's hard to see where things are. It's like you get a better idea of the shape, but maybe in the future I'll end up just using red wool and slabs and things like that. Also, with there's a couple other things that I might change and details that I might bring up in future videos, which you should totally subscribe for. I watched the War of the Worlds movie with Ice Cube in it if I get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the month. But yeah, you should totally subscribe so you can see more content and figure out what details about this I did and didn't like that I won't tell you now, because I want you to stick around and I want you to stay. I want you here with me. Stay. I'm hypnotizing you with the channel. Yeah, and one thing I also probably should show you guys is the back of the base, which is over here. Yeah, oh, it looks like I've accidentally gone into F5. Oh, so sorry about that. Well, anyways, I'm just gonna, oh, what was that? Nothing, never mind. Oh, let's go to the front of the base. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I must have accidentally gone F5. Such a shame I can't show you the back of the base. This looks so lovely. I want to talk about some of the details here. These windows, beautiful. I love using these bookshelves to create Japanese windows. I thought of this while I was building. I just thought, wow, this looks so lovely. I'm going to use it everywhere. I actually thought of it when I designed this. I was just throwing things together. I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, well, that works. Okay, let's keep it. And I added tons of small details to this thing. But yeah, this is one of the coolest, if not the coolest base I've ever designed. I'm really happy with the final turnout. I hope you subscribe, I hope you like, I hope you stick around for future videos. And with that said, I think I only have one thing left to do. And that is say bye-bye. Also, if you want something added to the boardwalk to 10,000 or the race to 10,000, just comment it below. I haven't added all the suggestions people have given yet, but I've added another thing on, which is Kirby, who has absorbed me. And I've given him my signature mustache. I've also used some of these, which are lightning rods, which you can debug, which is very interesting. Anyways, bye-bye for real this time.